Hi again, this is Christina with CS Lives, um, by hook or by crook. Thank you for coming again to my show. So today was a rough day for me, just like emotionally. It was just a really difficult day. Nothing happened, which is actually the worst kinds of bad days because if something happened, I could try to problem solve it. I could try to reach out to people who could help me problem solve it. This is one of those days where I just was not feeling good and I couldn't figure out why. I think I've been feeling that way for maybe a few days, but today was the culmination of it and probably the worst day out of the several days that's kind of been building up. Um, and so I know we've talked a couple of times about my history where I was not feeling emotionally well and some of the ways that I was able to overcome it and get to a much better place. Now, I'm getting on and doing this episode because I want to tell people that there's still going to be bad days sometimes. Like, it's not like you're cured and you're someone who never suffers in this way ever again. Unfortunately, if you're prone to the blues, in the easiest, simplest way I can say it, some days you're going to be prone to the blues. That being said, after my experience with this for so long, I now have better coping ways to deal with it. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that. So, um, first of all, I needed to get out, like get outside, get some fresh air, get some sunlight. I love my patio. I love drinking coffee on my patio. I went out to do that, and I was like, the sun isn't even landing on me. I'm in the shade. I need to move my chair and actually get some direct sunlight. Direct sunlight has been shown to improve mood, and so I wanted to get some direct sunlight. And so I sat out there, and it was amazing. The wind was blowing. It was like the perfect, I don't know, 70 degrees. I'm gonna take a guess here, 70, 72 degrees. The sun is shining, um, and I just let it hit me and just it just felt amazing. The other thing is that I realized um, that my relationship with God just hasn't been as strong recently as it had been in the past. And whenever I am feeling low, I can always turn to God because there's usually a component of a separation from God for me. Whatever your beliefs are, I'm talking about my beliefs here. Um, and so I took out some Christian music, started listening to that, and I just started sobbing. Just sitting out on my patio in the sun. Neighbors probably think I'm insane, sobbing. I'm not even sobbing about anything in particular. I think I was just releasing all of this like um, negative emotions that I've just been probably suppressing. I'm trying really, really hard to be positive and to be happy and to not linger onto negative thoughts that I have, not linger on the ways I've been hurt, not linger on any of those things. But the emotions are sometimes still there. I don't want to linger on them so that they don't grow and escalate, but sometimes you need a release. And I think it's important that you have this occasional release in a controlled manner. Um, because I think if you just allow yourself to just fall into the blues and just kind of sit in them, you will just continue to sit in them, and those emotions will continue to grow. The negative emotions will continue to grow, and you're going to feel worse and worse and worse. And I've been down that path in the past. And so I know that's exactly what happens. And I knew that was not what I was going to allow myself to do for my own good. But sitting out there listening to the Christian music, I just suddenly felt all of these emotions that I must have been suppressing just bubble up and overwhelm me and just come out. Um, and I was just, it felt amazing. to just release all of that. And I brought my Bible with me, and I just kind of, it was an interesting conversation that I had with God. Now, I say conversation, but I don't want anybody thinking I'm crazy and I'm hearing voices. I am not hearing God's voice. What I'm saying is I speak to God, and then sometimes I have a feeling of him responding to me in some way. But since I brought my Bible, I was looking to the Bible for God's response. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I had talked about faith moving mountains. And so I'm out there sobbing, and I'm just like, God, why don't we have a good relationship anymore? Like, I don't know how it happened. I know it's my fault. Like, I know it's not God's fault. I'm the one that hasn't been prioritizing God, but I don't know how it happened. It just slowly over time, I just lost touch with God. Every day was a little bit less than the prior day till today. It was just too much. I missed him. I was feeling that emptiness without him. And so I was like, I am not actually a fan of doing this, because I'm Orthodox Christian, and we're very much into, like, don't try to figure things out on your own. I can't help that though. I really try to figure things out on my own. But what I'm saying is, I've been taught don't do this, so I don't want to teach someone else to do that. I'm just telling you my experience today. So I'm talking to God, like, what happened to us? Why are we so far away? And honestly, it kind of feels like all of this pressure on me. Um, and I'm like, God, just say something. I don't even like, I'm not praying about any one particular situation. I'm not praying about anything. I'm just like, just me, God, I don't feel good and I miss you. Just say something to me. And so I randomly open the Bible, and it opens up to Matthew. I'm going to butcher it here. I think it's Matthew 21:22 or 22:21. I might be flip flopping those numbers. But it was talking about when Jesus saw a fig tree that had no fruit on it. And so he commanded it to wither away. And the disciples were like flabbergasted that he had the power to do that. And he's like, well, you think this is impressive? If you have enough faith, you can move mountains. And I was like, shit, you are talking to me through the Bible, not hearing voices. Because just yesterday, I was talking about faith that moves mountains. That can't be a coincidence because I really don't talk about that every day. Like, I rarely ever talk about that, in fact. So I'm like, okay, all right, God, faith that moves mountains. Because honestly, I got a little disappointed when I read the first part about the fig tree that withered. I was like, are you trying to say like I'm a bad tree and so I'm withering away? Like, I mean, not that God's going to be like, oh, I've told you to wither, that's it, you're done. No, I was thinking it probably means I need to get my act together in some way. But so I was kind of nervous reading it, and I get to the fig tree and it's withering, and I was like, oh God, did I piss you off somehow? And then I get to the mountains, and I was like, oh no, you're just letting me know you are here. And you're reminding me of what I said about faith that moves mountains. Because I do think a part of why I was feeling down, a part, not the majority of it, a part of why I was feeling down is that um, there are things that I've hoped for and prayed for and believed for many, many years that have not happened. And it takes a toll on you, when you've believed, when you believe you've heard God's voice, not little voice, once again. And I say that because there's someone out there who likes to say I hear voices and I don't. So that's why I keep clarifying. I am not literally hearing voices. Um, anyways, um, so yes, God, I did not imagine all of those times that you communicated with me in some way and let me know what was going on. This is like this feels real. This is your way of saying that. And then I was like, all right, I know I'm not supposed to be opening the Bible to just about anything, and I just did. And I'm really glad that I did, and so thankful to God um, for having me open a passage that spoke to my heart and that touched me and that let me know He is present, He is real, and He is there. Okay, God, let me get greedy. Give me another one. So, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, I really shouldn't. I shouldn't have done it the first time. Damn it, I really want to hear from you though. Like, I miss you. I really miss you, God. I miss you. I am in a low place, and I just want to get a message through the Bible from you to me. I open up to Joel, and I don't remember which chapter we're up. And again, thinking to myself, whatever. Start reading the first part that catches my eye, and it talks about how essentially the Holy Spirit will come upon your sons and daughters, and they will prophesy and have visions and all of that. I was like, okay, that's cool. I've actually been told, not that I am claiming to prophesy in any kind of way, but I've been told that without at all meaning to, sometimes when I talk to people, I say the thing that was on their mind that they were asking God about, or that they know the thing that I said was a message from God because it pierced their heart. And I've had that said to me plenty of times, and I'm just like, I talk about lots of things. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. The next thing that I talk about, they're like, "Shit, are you for real saying this?" Because that's exactly what I needed to hear. Um, And so I'm like, okay, well, maybe God is saying, I've got this gift somehow that I cannot control. So don't ask me for a word because I can't control it. I've got this gift, maybe I don't know. I'm taking a guess. But let me see what else is on here. And so I actually backtrack a little bit, and it's about all of the years that the locusts and the grasshopper and the caterpillar have destroyed things, and how God will, what is it, essentially he will redeem the years. And I should have kept track of what these chapters were, the exact phrasing, so I don't butcher it like I am. But that really stood out for me because I've mentioned before, I'm in a lot of Christian groups, and on Facebook, and that particular phrase um, is constantly repeated amongst them, because these are people um, who are dealing with loss of things, um, and they repeat this particular verse to each other so often that I have come across it so many times and thought nothing of it. And I was like, what's funny though? Besides the Christian groups, I didn't even know there was a caterpillar in there. So it's like the years that the locust, the grasshopper, and the caterpillar have like destroyed. And it's funny because these goddamn caterpillars have been just popping up in my life every single day. So I joke that my daughter is a master manifester, and she has no idea how she's doing it. She just does it. And so, like, one day she's like eating an apple in bed, and she's like, "All right, well, I'm done with the apple. Let's go give it to the caterpillar. Where's the caterpillar?" And I'm like, "Fuck, like, would I know where a caterpillar is?" I guess she was, there's that children's book, The Hungry Caterpillars. I forget that exact title, but so I'm like, I don't know. Well, lo and behold, the next day I see a caterpillar on my patio. I don't see them often, or if I have, I've never noticed them. Well, the stupid caterpillar just is still there, just not turning into a butterfly for whatever reason. Just yesterday, my daughter's with her father, so yesterday I was on a video call with her. I was outside and I was like, "Look, it's the caterpillar!" And like showed her, and she was excited. The caterpillar was outside today when I was on the patio crying, and so I was like, "These caterpillars." Now, some of you may be thinking, "Christine, none of this means anything." Well, maybe none of it means anything, but it made me feel better. So it meant something for me. Um, so really, what I wanted to make sure the message I got across today is that sometimes you're going to have bad days, And your feelings are valid, whatever they are, but you can't let them control you. You can't let them dictate how your day turns out. It's actually why I'm dressed. I'm gonna go change my mood a bit. So it's important to acknowledge your emotions. It's important to validate them. It's important even if you need to release or to vent, it's important to do that in a healthy way. Um, back, I'll talk about this maybe more in the future. Back in my unhealthy days, I had some very unhealthy coping mechanism for my blue days. Um, Smoking cigars or having a drink. Not that there's anything wrong with any of those things, but um, they are not healthy coping mechanisms. I am very much into health, and so I was not feeling good about myself for doing that, for smoking a cigar, for having a drink. I was already feeling bad, and they would temporarily make me feel better. And as soon as their effects wore off, I'd feel like shit for treating my body in a way that I didn't want to be treating my body. So, and then I would probably call a psychic if I'm going to be honest, because I'm miserable and I need a psychic to tell me everything's better because, psychics know everything. Yeah, I would always feel worse after talking to a psychic. Always, always, always. And I felt that temptation. I felt the temptation because at some point it became my habit. I haven't done this in like a year. I've been working really hard to stay with healthy coping mechanisms versus unhealthy ones for about a year. And so I've been good for about a year. And though on my blue days, it's like instinctual. Oh, I'm feeling down. Where's my cigar? Where's my drink? Let me call it psychic. And then I feel so much worse after. And then I have to repeat it the following day. And I feel worse and I feel worse and I feel worse. And so today, I told myself I'm not going to do that because insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And um, I've been down that road enough to know what the results are when I do that, which is I feel even worse. It helps me feel better very momentarily, like maybe a couple of hours. And then after that, I feel even worse. And I'm not going to do that anymore. I am going to do the things that I know make me feel better and that I feel better about myself for doing. So I'm really proud of myself for that. And then after I get all of those tears out, you should have seen me. It was ugly crying. I don't know if you could tell looking at the video right now. It was bad. It was bad. Um, Anyways, came back in, um, like had lunch. With nothing up and I'm hungry. I'm just kidding. No, but it's true. That is what happened. It's like had lunch and I was like, okay, uh, I released those emotions, but I need to fill their space with something positive. Like I don't want this to be how today is defined. I don't want today to be defined as the day that I felt blue. I need to like resume a normal life, essentially. And that's another way that I've learned to deal with these kinds of things when they pop up is that I can't first of all fester in my emotions, but I can't also let it define the day. Like I don't want to go to bed tonight thinking to myself, "Oh, today was the day that I felt low." Mm-mm-mm. No, you have to work really hard. If you ever struggle with anxiety or depression, you have to work really hard to be at a good place and to stay at a good place. I am off of meds and I'm proud to say that. I put a lot of work to be able to be off of meds and to be healthy and happy for the most part. Yes, like I said, I have blue days, but show me anybody who doesn't have blue days. So anyway, so I came back in, had my lunch, and I was like, all right, today's not gonna be it. Filed my taxes, which I've been putting off. I knew once I filed my taxes, I would feel like, I've been putting it off for like 3 months. I would feel accomplished, which I did. I feel so accomplished because I'm no longer procrastinating. It's been weighing on me for 3 months. Got that out of the way. That immediately made me feel 10 times better. And then I was like, you know what? I want to go out. Like, I could sit at home and I could continue to sit on my patio, even continue to try to spend the day talking to God and like praying. More likely, I'll probably get bored of that because, gonna be honest, God doesn't really speak, so it ends up being a one-way conversation, and it's kind of hard to maintain, at least for me. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna most likely, if I stay home, just sit at home, watch TV. None of that makes me feel any better. So I'm gonna fix my hair, put on my makeup, get dressed, and I'm gonna go out, see what the neighbors are up to. Um, Maybe go to happy hour at a bar. And now you're probably thinking, Christine, I thought you said no alcohol. Well, no, drinking alone at home while I'm fucking ugly crying is one thing. Purposely going out to socialize with people who happen to have drinks. If there were bars without alcohol, I would go there. People don't seem to socialize in the coffee shops that I know for some reason, or else I would have gone there. So the bar is just an excuse. I've got a limit, which is a two drink limit over like a 3 hour span. Um, and it's walking distance, so I'll get some more sunlight walking there, walking back. And so this is mainly about socializing, mainly about finding a reason to get dressed, clean up, feel better about myself, and then go out there and be around people because people at this bar are fucking hilarious. Maybe it's the alcohol. There's like the regulars. I love it. It's like my neighborhood bar. Like I said, it's walking distance. Conspiracy theories, all kinds of wild, crazy stuff. And I just spend the entire time laughing, and it's great. So that's really just the extent of this. Because I just want to make sure y'all know I am not anti-alcohol. I am just anti using alcohol or anything else that's unhealthy as a coping mechanism when you're feeling low. Mainly because also I know for me, it makes me feel worse afterwards. And I'm actually not against smoking cigars either. I love cigars. But I don't want that to be my coping mechanism because I also love exercise. So I need lungs that are full capacity to function when I exercise. You should see the workouts I do, they're fucking insane. So I need healthy coping mechanisms, and then I could splurge occasionally with a cigar or with a drink. So, long story short, everybody has bad days. Today was one of those days for me. This is how I coped with today. Just give me ideas. Maybe you could use some of them. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna head out now. Thank you for watching or listening. I'm not sure which avenue you're using, but thank you.